Hey, this is the Obsbot 4K.
Hi. Hi.
Before I get too far in the video, I just want to kind of go over what my setup is here so you understand what's going on. You can see kind of right here, I've got the two Obsbot cameras. I've got the Obsbot 4K. I've got the Obsbot not 4K. I am talking into my XLR mic. I've tried to place it at the same distance as my Obsbot webcams so that the gain levels will be more or less the same, or at least so you can compare the gain levels. Right now I'm filming from my Sony a6000 camera hooked up to my J5 Create capture card using OBS to record everything. I'll try to let you know what's going on, but if you ever have any questions, you can look right here so you'll know exactly what camera I'm filming from and what audio you are hearing. I'm not doing any edits at all with the video or the audio, so what you see is what you get. This is the Obsbot 4K. You'll notice I'm still talking into the XLR mic. Right now I'm focusing on video. In a minute I will switch over to audio so you can hear what the audio is like. But I want to turn off my lights so you can see the low light situation. Okay, now all of my lights are off. All of the lights that you see are coming from my monitors. I have 1, 2, 3 monitors, so they are still kind of illuminating my face. But this is what a lot of people do when they have a webcam. Obviously it doesn't look great because I don't have light, but this is what you would expect to see in kind of darker lighting with the Obsbot 4K. So this is much better lighting. I have a spotlight in front of me. I have a blue backlight. It's not perfect lighting, but this is probably better than what the average person would do. Natural lighting's probably better, but when you film at 5 in the morning, you're not going to get natural lighting very often. Now it's time to compare the 4K Obsbot with the 1080p Obsbot. So you can see here in the 4K Obsbot, the lighting is a bit different. In this 1080p, you can see kind of the backlight. It looks more purplish, or should we say saturated. The 4K look is actually more to what it actually looks like. It is more of a blue color. So the 4K I think gets the colors more correctly. It looks like the 1080p is kind of saturating the colors a little bit more. Another difference I'd like to show you is with text. Interesting. So you notice it looks about the same until the 4K version does autofocus. That is correct. 4K has autofocus. 1080p does not have autofocus. So that is one significant difference between the two. One of the nice features of the Obsbot camera is you can do hand gestures, so I'm going to try to zoom in. So that you can get the detail on my face. Apologies that you have to look at the zoomed in version of my face, but I do this so that you can pick out the details in the 4K versus the 1080p. I'll make some wrinkles in my forehead. The other hand gesture you can do with the Obsbot is tracking. So this is pretty fun and exciting. I can move around and it will follow me, or try. Let's zoom out. Okay, that took me a long time to zoom out with hand gestures. I think using my left hand seemed to work better for the 4K. Alright, I did it. I'm zoomed out again. Seems to work better with my left hand. That's probably because of the background. Also seems to work better when I'm far back. Probably if my background wasn't so messy and cluttered, it would work better. Right now I'll switch over to a video I did a few days ago that shows the software and some of the features associated with the Obsbot. So you can use the software to do the pan and tilt if you don't want to manually do it with your hand. I usually prefer to manually do it. But if you are doing a presentation or you're controlling the camera for someone else, it's nice to have that option available with the software. You can also zoom in or out with the 4K camera. You can zoom into 4 times if you ever want to do that. And I do find it's a lot easier to use the software to zoom in and out rather than doing the hand gestures, but you can do it either way. You can also use the software to allow or disallow tracking. You can do that with hand gestures as well, but again, it's sometimes a bit easier to use the software. So you can use the software to allow or disallow certain features like using your hand to do gestures if you want to turn that off. The tracking modes are basically you can do a bit of space around your head, only your head, or you can do your whole body for motion mode if you want to do something like that. You can press a button to configure video that will pop up a dialog box. You can also turn anti-flicker on or off. You can do HDR, which it works okay if you want to do kind of more HDR look, I guess. You can also turn autofocus on or off. I usually like to have that on because I like being able to do autofocus, but you can use the bar here to manually focus as well, which is kind of nice to give you that control, especially if you know you're going to be the same distance away from the camera. Can do face focus, so it will look for your face and focus on your face. This seems to work pretty well. Let's go over the audio situation real quick. The whole time I've been talking into the XLR mic, and as you can probably hear, I don't have noise cancellation turned on. I've got a heater on in the background. You might be able to pick that up. I'm going to turn on my electric razor just so you can hear how loud this is and what it sounds like. I'll move it around. The reason I'm doing this is because Obsbot has noise cancellation built in. So right now I'm going to switch over to Obsbot Audio. Okay, so we're on Obsbot Audio. I'm going to turn on the same razor that you heard just previously, and you can notice the audio difference, especially when I'm talking over it. Now, the thing I've noticed, for one, the gain on the Obsbot mic seems to be significantly less. It doesn't seem to be as loud as the XLR mic, and there could be various reasons for that. I can control the gain on my mixer with the XLR mic. On the Obsbot, I don't have any control over that, just how close I talk to it and that sort of thing. But the other thing is, the Obsbot does a really pretty impressive job for noise cancellation. If you have background noise, if you are in a crowded area or a busy street, or you have a low rumble, this is not a bad option for getting rid of a lot of those noise. Now, of course, every time with noise cancellation, you do sacrifice audio quality. It tends to sound, your talking voice often sounds a bit more robotic or muffled, or I don't know how to describe it, but that's what it is. Quickly, for comparison, I want to switch to the Obsbot 1080p. Now we're on 1080p. Going to do the same thing. When I listened to the audio for this, the thing I noticed was the gain seemed to be better than the 4K, but the noise cancellation wasn't as good. I don't know if you're noticing the same thing, but that is a quick comparison and something to be aware of that is different between the two. I'm back to the Obsbot 4K and back to the XLR mic. The next thing I want to show is just a clip of me with my sons with the camera, kind of a natural light situation, walking around the table, so you can see, for one, what this does like in different lighting situations, and two, what this is like with multiple people if that was something you wanted to do. My boys are going to help me. They're supposed to be taking a nap, but clearly they're not. So we're going to see what happens when you've got multiple faces to track. Do you want to say something to the camera?
Hi. Hi.
Okay, so guys,
Dama.
look what happens when you move your head.
What is that?
the camera moves. Is that so cool?
Hi.
How does it do that? Okay, so Kai, I want you to go up really high and see if it tracks you. Whoa, it tracks Kai. How does it know?
I didn't
Okay.
see it go up. I don't see it going up.
You didn't see it going up?
Yeah.
Okay, so all three of us are in the shot right now. Kai, do you want to get up and walk over there for me? And we'll see what happens.
Okay.
There goes Kai. Say goodbye to the camera.
Bye.
Okay.
It didn't do anything.
Oh, it didn't do anything.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay. Let's have you guys sit in the chair. Okay, Kai, sit in the chair. Kimball, sit in the chair next to Kai. Okay. So right now, here's the face focus. Ah. And who's it focusing on? Don't focus on the boys, focus on me. No. Come on. What are you doing? Oh, there we go. Ha! It's focusing on me now, guys.
No, I don't see it moving like that.
Yeah, it's moving, huh?
But it has to move like that.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Why does it have to move like that? Ugh. Okay. All right, guys. Do you want me to show you something cool?
So what happens if you push that button?
Don't touch that button or it will blow up. Do you want my computer to blow up?
No.
Okay, then don't touch that button. Guys, watch this. If I go like this, it will zoom in. Maybe.
But why is it that button here?
Look, it's zooming in. I'm gonna cover my face so it doesn't think I'm a person. And then I want you to walk around the table and see if it follows you. Can you do that? Walk around the table. Okay. Walk around. Uh-oh. I didn't mean for you to actually walk on the table, but I guess that works. Is it following you?
No, it isn't. It is, I think.
I would like to point out that Obsbot did send me this camera for free to do this review, so thank you, Obsbot. The Obsbot webcams are actually really cool. I like the concept for them. I've reviewed the 1080p in the past, and one of the things I wanted to see the most was adding 4K, which they did, and I think that's a great improvement. You can notice the image quality difference. I also like how the 4K has autofocus. It is quite nice, especially if you're someone who moves back and forth, up and back a lot. Having this autofocus, I think, is a great improvement. In general, one of the things I really like about the Obsbot camera is just how easy it is to change the view by moving it manually, or you can use the software to do that, or you can have auto tracking do it. It's nice to be this versatile. So this can work for a lot of different situations. If you're a teacher in a classroom who moves around, or if you like to show doing something with your hands and you need to move the view a lot, you can easily move it to where you're going and doing things. That is a really nice thing about these Obsbot cameras. I also really like how you can just plop the camera down and it turns off, and you don't have to worry about, is the camera on or not? No, it's not. If it's not looking at you, no one can see you. So that's great. And obviously the main differences between the 4K and the 1080p is 4K, you've got the higher resolution. So if you need to zoom in or out more, 4K is the better option. But you also do have that difference with the mic. 1080p, a little bit louder gain than the 4K, something to consider. As far as improvements go on the Obsbot camera, Obsbot has made really good strides going from the 1080p to the 4K, and I think they're going in a really good direction. One thing I would like to see is improvements with the software. The interface to me is just kind of clunky. It doesn't always work well. It'd be nice if it looked a bit nicer. Also, I think it'd be really nice if there were some options for audio. If you could use the software to change the noise suppression level or turn it off completely. A lot of people use a computer in a very quiet environment and don't need noise cancellation, and they could get better audio with that turned off. Other people might want to crank that all the way up because they're in a really noisy environment. Also, having some controls for the gain would be really nice. Other than audio though, I think Obsbot has made some really good improvements. This camera is really nice and versatile for a lot of different situations. Camera quality is good, noise cancellation is good. Overall, it's just a really fun camera. Do you want to wave goodbye and blow a kiss?
No.
Do you want me to take the camera off?
No.
Do you want to take a nap?
No.
Do you want to say the word nope? I cannot trick you. I cannot trick this boy. Do you want to say the word yep?
Nah.